Welcome to another opportunity to taste test through the decades. Today, our very own normal home cook, Jamie, but more importantly, joined, gents, welcome, by Jack and Ethan from All the Gear. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
What's the oldest food you've eaten?
I think I had a tin of spaghetti where I couldn't work out if it had gone out of date in 08 or 2000.
Because literally the etching was...
Yeah, because it had faded.
It tastes all right though.
Well, I used my mate as a guinea pig and he was violently ill.
What I'm worried is that he's doing the same with us. We're his guinea pigs.
Oh no, and it's televised.
Today, 3 guinea pigs. The first one is under the cloche. Lift away.
Oh wow.
Wow.
6th of May, 1995.
A good year.
Vintage.
Vintage year.
That's so long ago.
Straight away, we're going back 30 years to 95. What do you remember of the 90s?
Cresta Lemonade.
Oh, the 90s were the golden era, and it pains me that the 90s were 30 years ago, because I think 30 years ago is the 1970s. Like
That's the start of the millennium.
Yeah, that's the way my mind instantly works.
The era of Turkey Twizzlers, Sunny Delight, and both of those enjoyed with Ant and Dec on SMTV, right?
And Cat Dealey.
And Cat Dealey, or at the end of the day, Gladiators. That's made a comeback. Mars has never gone anywhere. What do we think about what you got in front of you?
They've kept the branding pretty much the same, right?
This one looks like it's been about a bit, doesn't it? It's a bit hammered, this one.
So, Mars bars, originally handmade in Slough, 1932.
No way.
Right, but now we're talking move fast forward to the 1990s, it looked like that. So that kind of red and gold, bold lettering. They changed the branding in 2000s to be a bit more flowing and cursive, I think is a word.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh.
That to me smells like a poo in a potty. It's not in a nappy, it's not a nappy poo, that is a potty poo smell.
What
That's
you might
wild.
be identifying is dairy fat that's not at its best. So cocoa solids and dairy fat that have gone rancid over time. Because whilst, confectionery has a long shelf life, 30 years, not recommended. Open it up. Let's see what it's like inside.
Oh, that really smells.
I've already done an episode of this and we mistakenly ate a very old fruitcake. We don't have to eat any or all of these today, but it's fascinating to look at them side by side. Do you want to see a Mars bar from today?
Wow, is that the same size?
That's the same size.
That's a bit smaller.
That is awful.
Hey, do you know what?
Is
It
it
doesn't smell as bad now.
is
up
it
close.
dissipated a bit?
Yeah, I think it's dissipated. I think the air that was trapped in there was the
That's
worst
gone.
bit. Yeah, but that's gone.
You don't want to eat that bit.
The older version had a simpler ingredients list, whereas the more recent one, skimmed milk powder, palm fat, sunflower oils, whey permeate, egg white powder, these are all ingredients now used just to keep costs down. However, despite the fact that the original size has shrunk 28%, the price has doubled.
That's awful.
That's shocking.
The price of cocoa, for one, if you look at the new one now, it's all 100% sustainably sourced cocoa. But have any of you heard of the Freddo inflation metric?
Yeah.
A Freddo's a 10p. Like in my head, a Freddo is 10p, a Mars bar is 30p, and a can of Coke or something like that is 50p. How much is a
How
Freddo
much is
now?
a Freddo now?
Oh, I don't know. It's now...
Well, why bring up the Freddo inflation if you don't know?
That was a real tease.
I probably should reset. Interestingly, for a long while, it didn't track inflation, and now it's kind of gone steeply up and caught up. So it is now on par, if not a little bit above, where it would have been through natural inflation over that time. But because it was always the same set standard size, and everyone remembered it as being around 10p and it had a lot of nostalgia, people, as you say, Jay, always transfixed on the idea that a Freddo is now 4 times as much.
No
40p.
way. Is it? What's happened?
Or it shouldn't snap like that, should it? Where's the caramel?
So over time, chocolate can become more gritty, more crumbly. If you've ever looked at tempering chocolate to keep it shiny and get that snap, basically if a chocolate bar is melted and reset and melted and reset.
Uh-oh.
Yep, the face does it all.
It tastes like I'm eating a bit of an antique shop.
Just going licking an old dusty lamp. Yeah.
Not sure why I did that.
It's really interesting what you said though about the ingredients list on the old one being more simple, because I've read things about that in terms of we think we're eating the same food. And you look at food products like chocolate bars or fast food things like, well, I had a Big Mac 30 years ago, but compared to a Big Mac 30 years ago, compared to today, the ingredients are completely different. The flavour might taste the same, but the way they've got there is not the same at all, and all the preservatives and everything that goes into it is not as good for us.
Ethan, you might want to nibble on the nice one just to get rid of
I think at best, yeah.
So in 30 years, this one should look better.
Oh.
If it's got more preservatives.
I mean,
should have saved it for YouTube in the future. I don't know. You've ruined it for
We could buy another one.
That's good.
Fairly easy to come across.
It's great. That's great. That's so good. Thank you for that.
well, you say thank you. Maybe we should move on to number 2, which will be a bit nicer. Good news, boys. What's coming next makes everything better. Lift the cloche.
Go on, Jack.
As we wind back another 10 years. We're now in the 80s.
Oh.
Should that smell like something?
Is that tea?
It is tea. We're going to make a cup of tea. This is deliberately tea that's been aged for 35 years, although it's also been in circulation for a few years, so this puts it kind of mid to late 80s in terms of its date, because whilst it was deliberately aged for 35 years, it's then been a product with a shelf life for a few beyond that. It's a pu'er tea from China, and it's supposed to be aged, but it becomes more subtle, less bitter, less astringent over time, more rounded, more delicious, it's thought to be. So deliberately a tea that in its freshest form is actually a bit too much and not what you want out of a delicious tea, so aging it helps.
The thing with teas is that sometimes they do just taste of hot water with a slight something else going on with them. If this has mellowed out over 35 years, I am worried that it is just going to taste like hot water.
We should also stress that some prize teas should be washed or rinsed first, but apparently this tea, so special and expensive after this time, but actually can be used up to 5 times and you can still draw out excellent quality from it.
So how much is this?
So for that 50-gram bag, we're talking £10. So enough to make probably 4 or 5 pots of tea. So not hugely expensive, but relative to tea bags now, which are a couple of pennies a pop, highly prized.
We've reviewed some expensive tea. Like we had the UK's first tea that was grown in the UK.
Pound a gram, that was.
Yeah, that was expensive.
What?
It was nice,
Yeah.
but it was expensive.
Okie dokie, pour out some tea and take yourself back to, we're talking in the UK, Only Fools and Horses, Blackadder, Live Aid, Rubik's Cubes were everywhere on every coffee table, Duran Duran, Pet Shop Boys, all the classics, back in the 80s.
Is this one darker?
Oh, it is.
It's getting darker and darker the more it carries on. It's obviously like any tea, the longer you steep, the stronger the flavour. You can personalise that.
We go for some?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, that was really hot. I'm trying to think what that tastes like.
A cardboard box.
It has got, that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that like masking tape. So I like taste to it. Do you know what I mean?
Packaging.
Yeah, packaging. It does taste like packaging.
Interesting, some of the flavour notes echo that you might expect from a fine wine that's aged. So they don't sound too positive when you hear them, but actually it's kind of a savoured flavour, like a forest floor.
Yeah.
Smells a bit forest floor, a bit mushroomy, and those kind of funky flavours, maybe even a bit leathery, but also kind of spice. So maybe some sort of bark and cinnamon kind of going on.
Oaky.
Yeah, woody for sure.
Yeah, woody.
About to say
Oh,
woody.
sorry.
I was
Sorry.
about to say.
Scrap what I said. Scrap what I said, and we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
Woody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say that. Yeah.
This is the first time we've also made this tea together, and I am amazed by how dark the teapot now is. Because it says this tea liquor is incredibly clear and has a beautiful mouthfeel, like silky, and that's what the time and the aging does. So 35 years goes from bitter astringent to something that mellows out and becomes really silky, lovely mouthfeel, but with those kind of woody, earthy flavours of forest floor.
How do they age it?
Important, obviously, to keep it away from moisture, to keep it away from direct sunlight, so it is kept in a dark, cool, dry place for 35 years. We drink it every day in the UK. It's a big, big thing. Does it need to be aged for 35 years?
Tea for me it's just tea. That's all I ever have it for. It's just grab a Yorkshire tea bag.
You're a Yorkshire tea, builder's style.
Just grab one of those.
Yeah,
I
it's more of a
can't-
tool for you, isn't it?
It
Like,
is, yeah. Get me through this day type of thing. Yeah.
I drink a lot of peppermint and hibiscus tea. I like hibiscus
Really?
tea. And this reminds me a bit more of the hibiscus tea.
Bit more
Fruity and...
fruity, woody,
Yeah.
earthy.
In terms of the aging, I think it's really difficult to know without comparing it to a similar tea that hasn't been aged, to know how less bitter or astringent it is. I think it's really nice. Would I pay £10 for that experience? Probably not.
I'd love to know how presumably an accident. Presumably they just left some for a few years and went, oh, it's better than it was. I don't know how you come to know that 35 years is perfect.
Yeah. The sweet spot.
Isn't that what happened with Worcestershire sauce?
Barrels of stuff.
Yeah, it was horrible when he left it, and then came back to it, and it was like delicious.
That'll go in on some cheese.
Yeah. Let's just start leaving stuff forever and see what it comes out like.
That Mars bar, it doesn't work for everything.
It doesn't work for everything. Do we think it's worked maybe for tea?
I'll say yes.
It's all right.
I like
You know
it.
what I mean?
You keep sipping it though, like.
Passes as all right.
I wouldn't purchase it.
Let's see if we can change your mind with number 3 as we wind back the clock another decade.
I mean, you guys have travelled the world and taken on so many different challenges and eaten so many different things. Have you ever done anything like this?
Not all lined up for us.
No, not on purpose.
The crickets from the vending machine in Tokyo was probably the weirdest one we've had so far.
Yeah, that was up there, in a train station, and that was dinner. Yeah.
With the rat running in front of us.
Yeah, that
Just to add to the experience.
Yeah, has given it a certain edge.
And 2 guys shadow boxing behind us.
Yeah, no, that shadow boxing the back of Ethan's head as we were getting crickets out of a vending machine. It's a crazy sentence. Isn't it?
I feel like you guys are the master of comparison when it comes to food. So in theory, another familiar item to compare with this one from the 1970s.
What is that?
Catsup. Is that what ketchup used to be called?
Exactly that. We're going so far back that the word has even changed. So the name catsup comes from Chinese language and originally was like a fermented fish sauce with all sorts of other things. That came across to our shores and we started to make our own version of it using all things umami. You mentioned Worcestershire sauce. That was kind of a version of catsup. So mushrooms, fermented fish, onions, garlic, and it was always a very seasoned, tangy, pickled kind of condiment. Then, only much later, were tomatoes introduced, and we now know it as tomato ketchup. The name catsup and ketchup were pretty much interchangeable through most of the 1900s until Heinz launched tomato ketchup in 1976, and they spelt it one way, and it's kind of stuck there on in.
This looks like it hasn't been opened, but I opened a bottle of ketchup in my nan and granddad's kitchen back in the 90s that they didn't know how long it had been there. When I opened it, blue smoke came out of it.
What?
Blue smoke came out of it, so I'm really worried about what's going to come out of this.
That was a ghost coming out of it.
Should point out the Brooks brand goes back to 1891, and they do still make this product today. However, this bottle, we understand from the auction site we bought it from, is from the 1970s. So 55 years old. Now, it was all about preserving the freshness to last for longer. So has it preserved for 55 years?
I mean, that just actually smells like a cross between ketchup and brown sauce.
Yeah, that smells like Branston pickle.
Yeah.
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 If you go to fancy restaurants, gastropubs, and they ever serve on the side like a mushroom ketchup or a walnut ketchup, that was where ketchup began, or catsup began in the UK. Then we introduced tomatoes. This has got all sorts of, and you pick up Branston pickles, got all sorts of fruit and vegetables in it. Comment down below if you still regularly buy Brooks. It's a brand that still exists. It's under the Bird's Eye brand. Is it lumpy like a Branston, or should it be smooth?
It's putting up a bit of a fight.
Yeah. Should the ridges stay when?
Obviously, it's weird just to eat ketchup off a fork.
Oh, wow. Are these 50-year-old sausages?
So our food team have gone all out and made you some bratwurst. Cast your mind back. We're now talking kind of Monty Python, Fawlty Towers, plenty of flares and glitter balls, ABBA and the Bee Gees, and this to slap on your food. I can't believe how ungrateful you are. We paid £47 for this bottle at auction.
No way.
Just so that you could open it and have this experience.
Oh, what a
That has been
bargain.
locked away for 50 odd years. Interestingly, this one smells to me okay.
Should we touch our sausages?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Sausage is delicious.
Sausage is good. It's cold, which was a surprise.
Yeah. That's your biggest criticism of this whole experience.
Also quite flavoured, which means I didn't get much flavour from the.
No.
Oh.
I might go, yeah, I might.
It's got a little bit of spice to it, definitely a tang, but then the flavour, I would say the flavour dissipates incredibly quickly, as if it's quite old.
What?
Almost as if it used to taste of something more than that.
Faded over time, perhaps.
I feel like it's made my lips greasy. Is that weird?
A bit oily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite sharp.
In the spirit of fair testing, the fact that you've eaten them all, we don't know which one is going to be the killer tomorrow. But
Power of deduction, if we're both okay.
Yeah,
it's the Mars bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
But the good news is, you know how this game works. We wind back the clock, not 1 decade, but 2 decades for our final round. Back to the 50s. Let's finish with something sweet.
No.
Royal banana cream flavour. Pudding and pie filling. Boys, don't worry if we don't like it. Satisfaction guaranteed or money refunded.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Good. We paid £56 for this.
I didn't realise there was such a market for old, horrible food.
For museums, yep. Banana cream pudding or banana pudding goes back to the late 1800s. This version is sort of 1950s as a convenient way of making a quick dessert at home. So this was an era where the whole household would be back to work, so convenience food was kicking in. I mean, in the UK, you've got like Bird's custard would be the most similar product, I guess, or arguably like an Angel Delight, which is that similar kind of, we probably remember that from our childhoods, butterscotch, vanilla, banana flavour, instant whip that then sets as it cools. Some of them you can do with cold milk. This one, we're going to add to warm milk and make a delicious banana custard.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's loose. It's like open. There's no seal to it.
But that's not sealed.
There's no seal whatsoever. It's just folded. God, when the light catches it.
It's
Can you see that? Yeah.
Sugar crystals.
Should we see if we rehydrate some in a little bit of milk and see what happens? 3 cups of milk to 1 box or packet. Now, a cup of milk is a US measurement. This is a US brand, Royal. They still sell banana cream pudding today under the same brand. It's just that this one is rather old. Now, bananas themselves only really grew in popularity in the UK in the late 1880s. And actually, it was sort of 1870s that banana pudding began. So it was that really time when bananas were the trend because there was this new tropical thing. Wow, that really has gone yellow.
Yeah, it's really vibrant.
It really smells of banana.
Does it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is it the synthetic banana smell?
Like foam bananas, confected bananas.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact,
Are actually bananas that used to exist that then went extinct. That all bananas smelled and tasted like that, and then they went extinct, and now we have a different type of banana. And even more fun fact, the type of banana we have at the moment is at risk of becoming extinct again.
the Cavendish may be on its way out. We have to protect it at all costs. However, you're right. the artificial that we now call banana smell came from what bananas were originally like.
Wow.
There's a website called crisispreparedness.com that says if stored correctly, items like this have an indefinite shelf life and will last way beyond their sort of date on box, although they may fade or lose like kind of fragrancy and flavour over time. When you hear the word pudding, what do you think of?
Bread and butter pudding.
Sticky toffee.
Sticky toffee pudding?
I just think of any dessert, really.
Any dessert. So that's what's fascinating about the word in our language now. It can mean sweet or savoury. You can get black pudding on your breakfast, which is great. It can allude to like suet puddings full of fat. It can be steamed sponge puddings. It can be the course, as you mentioned, like just the sentiment of should we have pudding? So many different applications of that word, whereas in America, pudding is still very much an egg, cream, dairy-based dessert. So bear in mind, it's just about come to a boil. So bearing in mind at this consistency, minus the little bit on the table, that ratio should give you a banana custard that you can serve hot. If you want to chill it, it says cover it in like a wax parchment paper so it doesn't form a skin. And after a couple more minutes of boiling and then pouring out, it will set to the point of being able to cut it.
I mean, it does smell like banana custard.
Yeah, it does. Almost exactly like
Yeah.
that, yeah. More. I want more.
That is banana custard.
Yeah.
That is just banana custard.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's more vanilla-y than banana-y now, but there is the banana, there's a subtle banana flavour to it.
That's really good.
Again, maybe food manufacturing science may have moved on, but actually we still use a lot of those starches, modified starches, gelling agents to produce products now, today, in hot and cold desserts. 4 very old items. Did you have a favourite or a most, not necessarily on flavour, just a most interesting?
I thought the texture of the sauce was the most interesting. Didn't expect it to be so wet and dry at the same time.
I think the Mars bar will live with me.
I'm most surprised by this one. It's the oldest, and I think it still has the most flavour, and is probably most similar to what it would have been 70 odd years ago.
And in terms of food manufacturing, you can still buy exactly that product now. I imagine it's made slightly differently. Comment down below, have you seen or used any of those 4 brands more recently? Are they still producing? And we'd love to know if there's any other incredibly old foods that we should get our hands on. Boys, thank you very much for coming and playing such silly games with us. Next time, maybe we'll feed you properly.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
But you guys go and check out all the gear for loads and loads of awesome videos, comparisons, out and about, lots of camping stuff and outdoor stuff, as well as food comparisons. You guys are awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for having us.